What's good, everybody? It's the Clown with Cap show. We got NFL Week 2. Week 1 did not disappoint. Yes, I understand there were some teams, obviously, like my Indianapolis Colts, that came up short. And I've said over and over again, we should tank this year. I mean, we're losing to the Jacksonville Jaguars. To me, that was a slap in the face. That was saying, look, we're weak. We're some pussy-ass bitches. That's basically what they were telling us. I mean, seriously, excuse me for my language, but for real, though, I'm so disappointed in it. Look, Phillip Rivers obviously is towards the end of his career. I want to see Dorsett come in and really get the rotation going. I really do. I think I really do. I think Forsett is definitely one of the guys. You know, obviously he was a starter last year, but now he's a backup. But still, I like Jacoby, dude. I really do. I think he will eventually overstart Phillip Rivers if Phillip Rivers continues to play like this. You know, Phillip Rivers last week, yes, he threw for 363 yards, 1 touchdown, but he had 2 interceptions. You know, I think for the Colts quarterbacks, obviously, we want to keep the interceptions low, okay? More touchdowns than picks, and then I feel like more times than not, the Colts are going to win. But it's crazy. Right now, the Colts are 3-point favorites versus the Minnesota Vikings. To me, it's like, how is that even possible? You know, the Colts literally just lost to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Like, yes, I get it, Minshew balling out. You know what I'm saying? But come on. You know, Kirk Cousins last week, he had 259 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. Dalvin Cook, he had 12 carries, 50 yards for 2 touchdowns. So, you know, Minnesota, I'm rolling with Minnesota. And I hope I'm wrong. You know, to the sports bettors out there, I hope the Colts win because at heart I'm a Colts fan. But I'm not betting with my heart here. I'm betting with my mind, and I'm going with Minnesota here. I'm going with the underdog. It's crazy that they're underdogs right now. I think more time when the game time starts on Sunday, I think we'll start to see the odds shift a little bit. You know, the over-under 48.5. You know, I think I like to go with the over here because strictly it's inside, obviously, in Indianapolis. I think, you know, a lot of the teams will be throwing. I think the Colts and Minnesota will be throwing. Yes, I understand Minnesota likes to run the ball. You know, they like to run it and then do what they do a lot of play action, those type of plays. But I think Kirk Cousins really becoming more disciplined and becoming a really better quarterback through over time. So I'm definitely going with Minnesota. Now, Thursday night's game was a pretty good game. Bengals versus Browns. The Browns were 6-point favorites. I did not take the spread. I actually took the Bengals. Would have won on there because they did not cover. The Browns only won by 5, 30-35. And look, you know, we got to see a lot of who Joe Burrow is becoming. I think Joe Burrow over time will have a better career than Baker Mayfield. No doubt about it. I believe that. And look, you can call me a Baker Mayfield hater, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But will they make the playoffs? That's the key thing for the Browns. You know, the Cleveland Browns, they should say, look, Baker, are you guys going to make the playoffs? Yes or no? You know, like, there's no in between. It's either you guys are going to make the playoffs or you're not. Like, and I think, you know, more times than not, if we keep continuing to see the Cleveland Browns miss the playoffs, you know, we can't always blame the coaches. We got to look at the quarterback, and that's Baker Mayfield. And I'm hearing sources from the Cleveland Browns saying, there's some people inside that are saying, look, trade Odell. You know, that would be a disaster. If the Cleveland Browns trade Odell Beckham Jr., you better bet your ass that they're gone, dude. They are definitely not making the playoffs without Odell. They need Odell. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. They need him really bad, but big win for the Browns. They're starting 1-1. Bengals are 0-2. Yes, the Bengals obviously should have went to overtime last week, but the field goal kicker missed like a 27-yard field goal, which was pretty pathetic, right? You're in the NFL now. You know, kickers should be easily hitting those like it's a layup in NBA. You know, but hey, they miss occasionally. Now, the Giants versus the Bears, this is going to be a pretty good matchup. The Bears are 5.5-point favorites. The over-under is 42. I like to go with the under in this one. Okay, Saquon Barkley versus Steelers last week only had 6 yards rushing. You know, that's one of the worst that running backs ever done. But on the flip side for Saquon Barkley, he's a superstar. I 100% believe it. I believe he just had a bad game, rough start. It's not how you start, it's how you finish. So I'm really giving some hope for Saquon Barkley. A lot of people gave him some crap. You know, but look, dude, you're playing the Bears. And Trubisky had a good game last weekend. Look, I get it. 3 touchdown passes, 242 yards. He went 20 for 36. That's great, but to win a Super Bowl is what I'm saying for Trubisky and the Bears. Is he the quarterback? I mean, we've seen time and time again in the playoffs what he's about, but the Giants are really young. Daniel Jones, he went last week, went 26 for 41, 279 yards passing and 2 touchdowns. So I think that there's a lot of if and buts about it, but I think it's crazy. The Bears, are 1-6 if they are favorite against the spread. That's insane. That's a little insane fun fact for you guys, but I'm going with the under here. I'm definitely going with the under. I think this is going to be a low-scoring game. 42 is the over-under, and I know a lot of people are leaning more towards the over side, but I'm going with the under, and I'm going Bears to cover 5.5. They're at home. I think they can, and I believe they will. Now, Atlanta versus the Cowboys. The Cowboys right now are 4-point favorites at home. 54 is the over/under. I kind of want to go to the under here. And as of lately, I've been taking the overs on these spreads. Been taking them heavy, really heavy. But I think the Cowboys, obviously they lost last week. They were favorites. They're favorites again. And both of these teams, Atlanta and the Cowboys, missed the playoffs this past year. Matt Ryan, I've been high in praise on Matt Ryan, and I've gave Matt Ryan some criticism. Look, I'm still sticking to it. Atlanta eventually needs to draft a new quarterback coming in, for the future, for Atlanta's future. I mean, how many years does Matt Ryan really have in his tank of good years? What, maybe 5 tops? So I think they need to go more towards that route. Matt Ryan, yes, he had 450 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception. But still, Gurley, he had 14 carries for 56 yards and one touchdown. And Todd Gurley, I think they need to use him more. Atlanta needs to utilize Todd Gurley more. And really, the Rams, I can't believe they got rid of Todd Gurley, but it looks like for the Rams' sake, it's paying off with Jalen Ramsey in their defense. Dak Prescott, he went 25 for 37 last week, 266 yards, 1 touchdown. Zeke had 22 carries, 96 yards, and 1 touchdown, or I believe 2 touchdowns. 2 or 1, correct me if I'm wrong there. But overall, I think, we're starting to see what the Cowboys are about, and it really boils down to how good is Dak Prescott going to play, and how good are the Dallas Cowboys receivers going to play. A lot of the times the Cowboys receivers miss some catches where it's like, dude, you should have easily caught that. That wasn't Dak's fault. Yes, I blame Dak for a lot of things, right? But I think for Dak Prescott and Baker Mayfield, this is the make or break year. These are their biggest years of their career is right now. What are you going to do this year? Are you guys going to make the playoffs? That should be their first goal. Okay, make the playoffs. But I like the Cowboys here. I like the Cowboys, and I like to go under here. I think that it'll be a low-scoring game here. Fun fact for Todd Gurley, who plays in Atlanta now, Todd Gurley's last 100-yard game was back in 2018. And a couple times he's had 200-yard games versus the Cowboys. So expect Todd Gurley to have a big game against the Cowboys this week. I wouldn't be surprised if he rushes for over 100 yards. I think this game will be really close, but I like Cowboys at home to get their first W. They need it really bad. Then we got Lions versus Green Bay. Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers had 4 touchdown passes last week. And I've said it before, dealing with the Madden ratings in the new Madden, Aaron Rodgers ranked 89 overall. Aaron Rodgers is on a mission this year. And I think Aaron Rodgers definitely will probably be the MVP of the league this year. I know it sounds crazy with all the new up-and-comers. Another underrated quarterback is Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is the most underrated quarterback in today's game. Has been for a while. But dealing with Aaron Rodgers, what he's done during the time in the NFL, it's been spectacular. We're seeing a couple of his miracle throws, some of his dime throws down the sidelines. It's been crazy, dude. And I feel like Aaron Rodgers is really getting disrespected from the media, especially. It's like, really? They must have forgot how good Aaron Rodgers was, dude. I love Aaron Rodgers. I love Green Bay in this matchup. Yes, they're playing the Lions. The Lions should have beat the Bears last week, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. Matt Stafford went 24 for 42, 297 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Peterson had 14 carries for 93 yards last week. So utilize Peterson a little more. Matt Stafford needs to do a little better overall. But Aaron Rodgers, like I said, dude, one of the most underrated quarterbacks out there right now. Madden gave him an 89 overall, dude, after everything Aaron Rodgers has done in the NFL. Come on, dude. What are they smoking on? I can't believe it, but I'm going with Green Bay with the 6.5. I'm going with the over 45.5 here. I think it'll be a high-scoring game. I love what they're doing here. Then we got Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Tennessee Tennessee Titans. This is another good matchup, but I would go heavy on Tennessee Titans. Why? Because they can run the ball. They like to control the clock, and obviously the Jacksonville Jaguars defense is not the best. It's really not. So I think this is a time for it where we see Derrick Henry really rush out. He had 31 carries last week for 116 yards. Ryan Tannehill's been throwing the ball great, had 2 touchdowns for over 248 yards throwing. So to me, I think Tennessee, this is a gimme here. Okay, I would go heavy on the spread here, 7.5. I expect Tennessee Titans to come out heavy in this one. Seriously, I expect them to come out and destroy the Jacksonville Jaguars. And like I said, I'm going with the over. 43, I'm going with the over here. I expect Tennessee to score at least 30-plus games, give or take whatever. Jacksonville might score 10, somewhere in that area. Minnesota, like I said earlier, Minnesota versus the Colts. I'm going heavy on Minnesota. This is a gimme. I think the Colts, I can't believe the Colts are actually favorites here. After what they did last week, like I said, Colts, they need to tank. They need to tank this year and draft Trevor Lawrence out of Clemson this coming up draft in 2021. I think this will be great for the Indianapolis Colts' future. And a lot of people will tell me, well, Cap, you're skipping out on the season again. You're giving up again. No, you're not. You're actually playing it smart here because let's be honest here. If the Colts happen to do make the playoffs this year, are you guys going to beat the Baltimore Ravens? Are you going to beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Come on, get out of here. Are you even going to beat the Houston Texans? Get out of here. Even if they did make the playoffs, they'd get bounced in the first game. They would get embarrassed. So to me, if you're the Colts, and obviously Pillhead Jim Irsay as an owner really did some misconceptions dealing with Andrew Luck, but I think we really need to go a different route for the Colts organization and get Trevor Lawrence and tank on that one. That's my whole mindset dealing with the Colts. I'm really frustrated with that. Then we got the Bills versus the Miami Dolphins. Josh Allen is 4-0 against the Dolphins in his career, dude. He's been balling out. When he first came into the league, nobody knew who Josh Allen was, dude. Josh Allen's a baller, dude. He has 312 yards, 2 touchdowns last week. He also had 14 carries for 57 yards. And the thing is his underrated game is his ability to scramble. Josh Allen is a sneaky fast. I kind of compare sneaky fast to like a Russell Wilson-esque. He can escape the pocket really easy and get to the open receiver. We saw what he did last year in the playoffs against Houston. Made some big plays. And I think overall, I've said it before, we will see the Bills in the Super Bowl during this decade at some point. People are calling me crazy, but I'm telling you, the Buffalo Bills will be in the Super Bowl at one point. But I'm going with the under on this one. 41 is the over-under. I just don't see Miami Dolphins really throwing it a lot. Ryan Fitzpatrick, he had 3 interceptions last week. When will we see Tua, the new cat from Alabama? When will we see his opportunity come in? Maybe this game at some point. Fitzpatrick's been in the league for years. Give the rookie a shot if you're Miami. It's definitely if you keep losing. But I love the Bills in this pick. Yes, it's at Miami. Bills are favored by 5.5 points. I love it here. Go heavy on this pick here. Maybe not the over-under as much, but go heavy on the pick. I love the Bills. Then we got the 49ers versus the Jets. Jets arguably the worst team in the NFL. They have been in the past, 5 or even the past decade, dude? Who's their quarterback? Sam Darnold? Do you guys even know who Sam Darnold is, dude? A lot of people don't. Last week he had 1 touchdown and 1 pick, only 215 yards. But you're playing for the Jets again. That's the reality of New York Jets, dude. They are trash. They are trash, dude. I feel sorry for New York Jets fans because, the reality of it is you guys are not going to see another Super Bowl at least till the next decade, dude. Maybe 2040, dude. We're talking decades away. So to me, the Jets, I feel bad for you. But the 49ers, I like the 49ers, but my whole thing is Jimmy G. Is Jimmy G the quarterback to get you a Super Bowl? Is he? Is he the quarterback? We saw what he did with Kansas City. They were down by 4 in the Super Bowl. About 3 minutes to go, and we saw the overthrow. We saw a couple misconceptions by Jimmy G, and it really showed out. Super Bowl champions don't make mistakes like that. We saw Tom Brady against Seattle. They were down by 2 possessions, 14-24 in the 4th, and we saw what they did. Tom Brady scores touchdowns in the red zone, not field goal. That's what separates them. That's why Kansas City won, because Kansas City scores in the red zone compared to people that score touchdowns. It's San Francisco. So, yes, I get it. San Francisco's playing the Jets. I love San Francisco here. I think go heavy on the spread, too. They're touchdown favorites. 41.5, 42 is the over-under. I actually like to go with the over here. I think this will be a little bit high-scoring game. And, yes, I get it, the Jets. Sam Darnold, they don't have the best weapons around them. But I do think they'll have a little good game here. Overall, so to me, it's crazy. Kittle, but he was actually hold to 44 yards receptions, dude. Kittle hasn't had back-to-back under 50 games in a very long time, dude. So Kittle, I think what we're going to see out of him something else, and I think Jimmy G really needs to target him more moving on in the future overall. So to me, I love the 49ers in this pick. Then we got the Rams versus the Eagles. The Eagles was actually favorites earlier on the week. Now it's even. This game is going to be great, dude. The Eagles are 5-0 versus the Rams since 06. Through the battles they've had. But I love the Rams in this pick, and here's why. Because of Jalen Ramsey and the Rams defense and Aaron Donald. I think they are going to really get Wentz. Wentz was sacked 8 times last week, so I love the Rams matchup. I think this is a sucker bet if you're going with Philly here. Yes, I get it, they're playing at home, but the way we saw the Rams versus the Cowboys, hold the Cowboys for what, 17 points, dude? Dude, I'm telling you, this is the Rams we saw when they went to the Super Bowl. But I feel like they have a little bit better offense. I really do. They got cut back. They got some players that are back, but I really love the Rams defense, dude. And a lot of people really gave Ramsey crap, but we saw what Ramsey did. Yes, he had that pass interference call. He sold it great, but Ramsey, he hits you hard and he wants you to feel it. And that's the whole Rams defense mindset now, is they're going to hit you when you come across the middle and they're going to want to hurt you. I love the Rams in this pick. I would go heavy on the over in this one. 46 is the over-under, and I understand Rams have a great defense, but I still see this being a little bit high-scoring game. But like I said, Donald, dude, those guys are no joke. He's a 2-time NFL Defensive Player of the Year for a reason, dude. They're going to have to double-team him most of the game here. So that's going to free up the linebackers, the other DNs, and overall, I love the Rams. I feel bad for Carson Wentz because we saw in his career right now, him being hurt over time, dude. He missed the Super Bowl because he was hurt. So I feel like, for Carson Wentz and the Eagles, it's really stay healthy. But getting sacked 8 times in a game, that's not going to work. And, you're playing Aaron Donald this week, dude. It's going to suck, dude. Get your maxi pads ready, Philly, because you guys are fucked, dude. For real. Then we got the Broncos versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, dude. Pittsburgh, our favorite, 7.5, and a lot of people were really saying this was a coin flip here. And I love the Denver Broncos quarterback, Drew Lock. Last week, he had 216 yards, 1 touchdown, and we have Melvin Gordon as their running back. He had 78 yards and 1 touchdown. I kind of like how Denver plays, but we have to understand they lost their best defensive player, Von Miller, and that's the main reason why I'm going with Pittsburgh here. And Pittsburgh hold Saquon Barkley to only 6 yards rushing last week. So we saw what Pittsburgh defense is about. It's the old Pittsburgh Steelers that we've seen win Super Bowl after Super Bowl. So it makes sense, dude. We're seeing that old school type of mentality here in Pittsburgh. But like I said, I don't support rapist Big Ben Roethlisberger. Forget rapist Big Ben. Yes, he had 229 yards and 3 touchdowns. I get it. Juju Smith, great receiver. A lot of Benny Small Jr. He had 19 carries, 113 yards. Juju had 2 touchdowns. So the Steelers are legit. The Steelers will make the playoffs this year. I believe it. After seeing them play against the Giants, the way they controlled the clock, really controlled the defense, and controlled the running game, I love what the Pittsburgh Steelers showed me. So I'm going heavy on Pittsburgh here. I don't see the Broncos coming in and really touching Pittsburgh, dude. And Pittsburgh has a great home record, dude. So I think Steelers, dude, it's crazy to me that they hold Saquon Barkley to 6 yards rushing, dude. And Saquon, last year was notified as one of the best running backs in the league. I said he was my top 3. I still believe he's my top 3. But 6 yards, against Pittsburgh, Pittsburgh's doing something right. I'm going heavy, 7.5. I think they're going to win by a couple touchdowns at least. Then we got the Panthers versus the Bucks. I think this could be a sucker bet here. I really do. Bucks are favorite 8.5. Teddy Bridgewater, they have McCaffrey, and I feel like they didn't hand the ball off to McCaffrey last play of the game when it was 4th and 1, 4th and 2. Instead, they gave it to their fullback. I blame the coach for Carolina's loss last week against the Raiders. Give it to your best player in the game. When you need it, give it to your best player to make a yard. No excuses there, but I like the Bucs overall. I agree. Teddy Bridgewater, great quarterback. 270 yards last week with 1 touchdown. McCaffrey had 96 yards with 23 carries. 23 carries, but yet you can't give him the 24th carry when it's 4th and 1. You got to get the wins. The wins are really what matters at the earlier in the season, because when you look back, you're like, you know what? We got the big win here. Now we're going to squeak into the playoffs, maybe get a wild card spot. But some of these teams who are losing aren't going to get that wild card spot. So to me, I'm going with the Bucs here. I think Tom Brady's going to bounce back. He had 2 touchdown passes and 2 picks last week against the Saints. look, obviously you're playing against the Saints and Drew Brees. Drew Brees has been there for a while, so I'm not worried about Tampa Bay and Tom Brady. Tampa Bay, I believe, will make the playoffs. We have to understand Tampa Bay has the home field advantage. They have the Super Bowl in 2021 in Tampa Bay. So you don't think Tom Brady knows that? They understand what's going on in Tampa right now. I think their defense is going to clamp down, and I expect Tampa to come out over Panthers, but 8.5's a lot. I think they're really going to win maybe by a field goal, maybe 4 or 5. So I'd go with the money line on this pick. Go strictly on the money line with this pick because I'm telling you, dude, the Panthers can score. They got McCaffrey, dude. I'm telling you. But the over, under 47.5, we went with the over on this one. I like it. I like the over. I expect the Bucks to come out and Tom Brady to throw about 3 or 4 touchdown passes here and have a good game. Then we got the Washington team versus Arizona Cardinals. Arizona 6.5-point favorites. The over-under is 47.5. I think I'd like to go with the under here. I really do. Murray, he's a young quarterback. I can't believe, honestly, I picked the 49ers to beat Arizona last week. I really did because history, they've played them great, but we saw a different type of Arizona. We saw the young youth Arizona on the offensive side. To me, it was crazy. They got Robbie Anderson. He had 6 receptions, 115 yards with 1 touchdown. They got a lot of, obviously, Larry Fitzgerald, the legend. He could have retired 5 years ago and still been a Hall of Famer. To me, Larry Fitzgerald, first ballot Hall of Famer. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. I just want to see Larry Fitzgerald get a Super Bowl ring. Will the Arizona Cardinals win a Super Bowl this year? No. Their division's too hard, dude. There's no way they're going to win a Super Bowl this year. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. But I like Arizona at home. The Washington team, yes, they got Alex Smith, in the rotation now. We saw what happened to Alex Smith, dude. He had bad injuries, and it's amazing that he's coming back from these injuries. He's got a lot of heart. But overall, I like Arizona in this pick. I really do. Then we have Kansas City Chiefs versus the Chargers. Kansas City 9-point favorites. Obviously, everybody's going with Kansas City here, and it'd be stupid not to. Kansas City, dude, they are the team to beat. They're the Super Bowl champions. Obviously, I think they could have won the year before that, prior to that, back in 2018 when they played the Patriots in the playoffs. I really thought they got outcoached in that game. But overall, Kansas City is the move, dude. You got Mahomes. You got so many offensive tools on that team, on that everything. But the biggest problem for the Kansas City Chiefs is going to be the Baltimore Ravens and Lamar Jackson. Those are going to be the biggest threat to Kansas City, and I believe we will see that matchup in the playoffs this year. And that's going to be one of the best matchups we'll see. That game is going to be crazy. It's probably going to be in Kansas City because of home field advantage. But, dude, I'm telling you what, and hopefully by then there'll be 100% mass capacity for fans, not because dealing with COVID and all this shit that's going on in our society. But I really do. We'll get that max capacity. But like I said, dude, they are the team to beat. Sammy Watkins last week had 7 receptions, 82 yards, 1 touchdown. He's a Clemson, old Clemson guy. Clyde Edwards had 25 carries, 138 yards, 1 touchdown. We start to see different types of running backs in the league today where it's like, hey, they can produce. They don't have to be necessarily a big star name, but they can be small guys and really produce like this Clyde Edwards, over 100 yards. Who's heard of Clyde Edwards? Do you know what college he went to? Okay, that's what I thought, dude. A lot of these guys coming up, but the Chargers, Tyrod Taylor, they got some new quarterbacks that they drafted, a kid from Oregon. But overall, look, I don't expect the Chargers to make this a game. I would go heavy on Kansas City here. 9 points, really? I thought it should have been like 14 points, to be honest with you. The over-under is 47.5. I like to go with the over. Ted, when you're dealing with Kansas City, you have to understand Kansas City's going to put up some crazy points, dude. They throw the ball at will, and they will do it however they want. And Patrick Mahomes, one of the young stars coming up, signed one of the richest contracts in NFL history, almost $500 million. Like, come on, dude. That's crazy. Shout out to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs. The future is bright for them. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Then we got, like I said, their nemesis, the Ravens versus the Texans. To me, this is another cool matchup. We got 2 young stars, Watson and Lamar. Watson last week against Kansas City had 253 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. I really think the Texans' offensive line could do a little better for him, protect him more from not getting hit as much. But like I said, Lamar Jackson, he could very well win back-to-back MVPs this year. I know I said Aaron Rodgers is going to be my front run right now to win MVP this year, but I would definitely put Lamar up there. Lamar had 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, 7 carries for 45 yards. But that's the scary thing with Lamar is the carries. Are you going to keep continuing to get hit the way he does? I think Harbaugh really needs to teach Lamar to slide. Slide like Russell Wilson, dude. We don't want you to take big hits anymore. Those hits are going to add up through the career. They might not add up this year, next year, but they will add up eventually, dude. So if I'm the Ravens, I'm telling Lamar to start sliding, dude. I don't want you to take hits like a running back. You're not a running back. You're a quarterback. Like, come on. I think long-term they need to be a little bit more smart about it. But Watson, like I said, he's a young cat coming in, signed a great contract, $160 million for 4 years with the Texans, well-deserved. But the over-under, 51's the over-under. This is kind of what's Vegas telling us. They're telling us this is going to be a high-scoring game. I first went with the over, but I'm leaning more towards the under here, but I still got to go with the over. I still got to go with the over here, 51. I love it. I think it's going to be a little bit high-scoring game. Will Fuller for the Texans. From Notre Dame, he had 8 receptions for 112 yards last week, so I expected them to throw at will and really be a high-scoring game. I like the over, and I like the Ravens, the away team. I just think Lamar is going to be great, but this could be a very well upset game. It's at Texans, and I think the Texans play well at home, so if you guys are going to do an upset pick, circle this one on your calendar, the Ravens-Texans. That could be an upset pick. Patriots versus Seattle. Seattle's 3.5-point favorites. This is a great game. We've seen Cam Newton match up with Seattle over time, dude. It's been years in the making, okay? And Bill Belichick came out this week and said Russell Wilson is an underrated quarterback. And I'd have to agree with Big Bill Belichick. He's right. Russell Wilson does not get his credit he deserves. Russell Wilson is a third-round draft pick, dude. He's the same draft in 2012 when Andrew Luck and the Colts drafted Andrew Luck first. And I look back and I'm thinking, dude, the Colts could have drafted Russell Wilson, dude. They could have drafted RG3. Andrew Luck, he's out of the league now. He's done, dude. He's curing cancer, or he's inventing something, dude. Andrew Luck is smart as fuck. He said, "At the Colts, I'm out of here." That's what he said. But I love this. I love this matchup, and this is the first time New England Patriots have not been favored in over 64 games. This is crazy. The Patriots have been favored 64 games up until this point, and it's against Seattle, and it makes sense because Seattle before us came into New England and beat New England before in the past. And Pete Carroll, Bill Belichick, I don't think they like each other. We saw what happened with Pete Carroll in the Super Bowl. One of the worst, obviously, I believe it's the worst call in Super Bowl history. You got Marshawn Lynch beast mode on the 1-yard line, and you throw the effing ball. Pete, what crack were you smoking there, dude? Were you really trying to outsmart Bill Belichick? Like, come on. You can't run the ball. I can't believe it. And there's theories saying, oh, it's rigged. They knew about this shit. Come on. I think Pete Carroll overthought the thinking and really was trying to be cute with it and say, look, I'm better than Bill Belichick. I'm smarter than Bill Belichick. I'm going to outcoach him here and make him look dumb. But who really looked dumb? Russell Wilson, and you look dumb. You guys blew a Super Bowl. You were 1 yard away, Pete Carroll, from another Super Bowl. Dude, I can't believe it. I really can't, but I love this matchup. But I got to go with Seattle. 3.5. I think Russell Wilson's going to have a great game. Last week he had 322 yards, 4 touchdowns. He also had 3 carries and 29 yards. Matt Creefy had 4 receptions for 95 yards and a touchdown. So for me, I love this. Edelman, he had 5 receptions for 57 yards. And we saw what Cam Newton's about. I think Cam Newton's really he's rejuvenated, coming out, and he's going to be on fire, dude. I think he's amped up, and like I said, I think Carolina gave up on Cam Newton. They said, look, Cam, you're rubbish, dude. That's it for you. But I think Cam Newton and Bill Belichick, I kind of do it, right? I didn't think they would mesh as much as we're seeing it right now, but it really goes to show you the greatness of Bill Belichick. He's a great coach. He can coach anybody, dude. He can coach Eskimos. He can coach anybody, dude. It doesn't matter. I think overall, Bill Belichick, definitely the better coach, but the matchup, I got to go with Seattle. I love Russell Wilson and what they're doing in Seattle. I believe both these teams right here, the Patriots and Seattle, they're both going to make the playoffs this year. no doubt about it. I believe that to the fullest. But like I said, I got to go with Seattle and Russell Wilson, baby. That's my pick. I'd go go the over. 3.5. I love it. I love that. Then the Monday Night Football game, Saints versus Las Vegas Raiders. It's crazy. Derek Carr's completion percentage in the past couple years has been 71%. The first best is Drew Brees with 73%. I can't believe that with Derek Carr, and I've been kind of high on tight on Derek Carr. He's had his moments with Oakland, or the Las Vegas Raiders now, used to be Oakland, and really, some games where it's like, man, what was Derek Carr thinking? Obviously, but I got to go with the Saints here. Drew Brees, the way they played the Bucs, they played him great. He had 160 yards last week with 2 touchdowns. Jared Cook, he had 5 receptions, 80 yards. And Derek Carr last week had a touchdown with 239 yards. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. 49's the over and the under. I'm going with the over here. In the new Las Vegas Raiders Stadium, the stadium looks amazing. It costs $5 billion to do it, dude. $5 billion. Vegas is just shitting money out, saying $5 billion is like $5 to the average human being, dude. They don't give a shit. $5 billion ain't shit to them. But like I said, I got to go with the Saints. The Saints are favored by 6. I love the spread there. I would go heavy on the Saints here. The Las Vegas Raiders, this is their first home game, dude. This is kind of like an away game to them. Brand new stadium, brand new everything there. So it's like new to them, but, Brees, he's 9-2 against the spread versus the Raiders in his career. So, this would be kind of ignorant to say, Brees is going to lose. He's 9-2. He gets the spread. So I love the Saints in this pick. I'm going with the Saints in this pick overall. No doubt about it. But I want to go back to what I said earlier, dealing with the Indianapolis Colts. And a lot of people say, they shouldn't tank this year. They should. They should absolutely tank. They should tank it all the way down, dude. We don't want the Jets to have the pick. We don't want another shitty team to have a pick. Who knows? Maybe like the Lions. They might be terrible. But overall, I do believe the Indianapolis Colts should definitely tank, and I don't believe they're going to beat Minnesota Vikings. To me, it's crazy that they're favorites here. It's iconic. It's just like, it's ironic how they're favorites here. But the upset picks of the week, there's some upset picks out there. I would circle Panthers versus the Bucs. Historically, Panthers have played Tampa Bay really good in division games, so I think overall, circle that game as an upset. And obviously, the Rams-Eagles, I wouldn't even call this an upset. This is more of a coin flip here. This is a coin flip situation, but like I said, the way the Rams are playing right now, I would go heavy on the Rams. And a lot of people probably already went heavy on the Rams when Philly was favored by 1 or 2 points here. Actually, they were favored by 1 at the beginning of the week, dude. Ain't that crazy? Philly just lost to the Washington team? Who are they? Who is the Washington team, dude? Exactly. That's what's about it. But it's any given Sunday. Anything can happen, but I love the Rams in this pick overall. But obviously, my upset pick of the week is going to be the Ravens versus the Texans. I think the Texans play the Ravens great. And I think this could be an upset game. Yes, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game. 51's the over-under. I'm going with the over. But like I said, this is my upset pick of the week is the Ravens versus the Texans here. Watch out, baby. It's NFL Week 2, baby. Let's go!